Managing expectations seems to be ingrained into the job title of a music professional nowadays, and I just wanted to yap about something that I've heard time and time again. In a lot of cases, I feel like people believe that when a song gets mixed, it's immediately going to sound 90 or even 100% better. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are mix engineers out there that are doing insanely good work and are rescuing songs and, making them what they are. But I just think across the board, this belief can put a lot of, in most cases, unrealistic expectations on the shoulders of mixing engineers. And personally, I think that this can be incredibly harmful for the music itself. Also, hi, I realized I started yapping and there might be some new people in here. So hi, I'm Luke. I'm an engineer, producer, and songwriter, and I'm working on adding YouTuber to that list of titles. I'm glad you're here, and I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you like this video. But anyways, here we go. Nowadays, I feel like the process of mixing is ingrained into people's minds as fixing or turning this into that. And the reality is, it's kind of just like the gift wrap around the gift, and the gift that's inside is the most important, or the song in this case. And of course, a good mix is subjective, but I also feel like mixing is looked at nowadays as the process that brings the song to a whole nother level. And in my opinion, it's important to note that the amount of improvement you hear from rough mix to final mix will vary entirely on how close it already was before it actually got to the mixing engineer. And my point in bringing this up is, an artist can come to you with a song that sounds 80% there, right? But then expect the mixing process to improve it by another 90%. The math isn't mathing, right? And these expectations are usually centered around the fact that someone told them, or in their mind, they know that it's unmixed. And I think the term unmixed nowadays carries way less weight because in a lot of today's music, people aren't really recording straight up raw sounds and stems. A lot of the time things are processed while, things are being produced, or pre-mixed samples are used in the production. And I think a lot less fixing work needs to be done in that case. Because the bottom line is this: if someone comes to me personally to mix a song and it already sounds really good, but they don't like how it sounds, it's important that I try to get to the bottom of why they don't like the way it sounds. And if the artist just doesn't think it sounds done because in the back of their mind they just know it isn't mixed yet, or someone put a worm in their ear, is that the term? I don't know. Put the word in their ear, or put the idea in their mind that it just needs to be mixed. And I think that this can be really harmful to the creative process because instead of listening to the music and identifying the problems, people are just assuming that because something isn't mixed, it has a long ways to go, or that it's not even close to being done. This is why I think as a mixing engineer myself, it's far more important to have a good reputation for your perspective than it is having a reputation for just fixing things, right? So think of mixing like the salt on a steak. If the producer put a bunch of salt on the steak before it even got to you, you're obviously going to use less to make it perfect, right? Because if they salted it, it's not going to be bland and flavorless sitting in front of you. But then if the artist is expecting you to pour your whole shaker of salt and make it the saltiest steak you've ever seen because someone told them it isn't fully seasoned or it wasn't mixed, you might have some expectation management to do. Something I've learned throughout my career is it's best to underpromise and overdeliver in most cases, right? And I think mixing is definitely one of those cases. If an artist sends you a song that already sounds really good, I would definitely make sure it's just kind of on the right track to the point where all there is left to do is add your flavor and your perspective to the mix, because I think that's the most important thing, right? The perfect amount of salt. I went off on a long tangent here, but the meat of the reason why I made this video is just because how uneasy the word unmixed makes me feel sometimes. I feel like people see mixing as binary in a lot of cases, and it's very much so dependent on where the song is before it goes to the mixer, right? There are hit records out there that have been sent to big mixers, and the big mixers barely touch, they tweak little things, right? Because it already sounded great. They still mixed and finished the track, but it was their perspective and their stamp of approval that really brought it over the finish line, right? And for the sake of artistry and the songs being the best that they could be, because that's the goal for everyone here, right? I really think it's important that we understand that mixing isn't 90% of what makes a final record good. It's just kind of the bow on top, and arguably should just complement the song and just not really be what makes it done. This one definitely might catch some flack, but I just wanted to have a yap session about it. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Leave your comments below. I know that this is a service-based industry, but there's a whole lot of expectation managing in this industry, and sometimes it's tough to navigate. So it's good to have these conversations. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to me yap. If you want more music making related content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. And I promise in the next video, I'm going to have my camera mics back so I don't have this monstrosity in front of my face. See you guys next time.